Hello. Today I will be talking about the First Amendment, but I'm only going to be talking about a section of the First Amendment that has become increasingly contentious in society today, and it's a vital aspect to the Republic that we must protect it. We must honor its aspects in place in history and in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and we must force ourselves to kind of look inside points in time when we don't want to. Something you hear often at any time a discussion kind of gets heated, whether it be who's the best quarterback of all time, or whether it gets a little bit more serious with certain aspects of political debate. But a quick instinct to the sign that the debate has lost civility and it's descending into chaos is when someone yells out, "Shut up." And that's very simple, but if you think about it a little bit longer, the term telling someone to shut up is basically, I don't want to hear what you have to say. And that is the quickest, for a government to take that position, or for anyone in power to take that position of, I don't want to hear what you have to say, is the quickest turn that anyone could take into despotism, into tyranny, into control. When I no longer want to hear what you have to say. And it's what's beautiful about the Bill of Rights is that it works on a governmental level. It works on the relationship between individuals and the government, the governed and the governed. It also works interpersonally. It works as individuals. When you no longer want to hear what someone has to say, when you just want to shut them down, there's a loss of civility, there's a loss of communication, and there's a loss of respect. But even when you disagree with somebody and you're willing to let them say what they state their position, express how they feel, when that happens, there opens a door for them to listen to you out of respect. They feel, let me hear what you have to say. So the actual part of the Bill of Rights that I'm going to talk about in Amendment 1 is abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for the readiness of grievances. But the part that I really want to talk about is the abridging of the freedom of speech. Currently, right now, in the autumn of 2007, there is a situation going on in the NFL that we're all aware of with the protesting. For different aspects, it's kind of become a little bit convoluted on who's protesting what and everything. But individuals are expressing their right to express themselves and sit down during the national anthem. Now, however offensive you find that, or however important you find it, whatever you line up on the spectrum of scale, if you think it's offensive and it's not needed, if you think it's something that must be brought to the attention, we all must discuss it, wherever you're at, we must respect their ability to do it. We must not respect their ability to do it. We must understand and give them the freedom to do it. You don't have to respect it. You could disagree with it and find it completely offensive, which I tend to fall on the side of it being offensive. But you have to give them the freedom to do that. And here's where it flows back, and here's where we run into problems with colleges, is if you are going to give somebody the freedom to express themselves, they in turn should give you the freedom to express yourself. What we're finding out in colleges right now, which is incredibly dangerous at the university level, is that if you express one point of view from a certain position, from a certain political side, we don't want to hear that. This side gets all the freedom in the world to say whatever they want. This side doesn't, and that is a fundamental attack on the Constitution, and it is sticking dynamite at the foundation of the Republic. It is attacking the very foundation of who we are. And this is what, sadly, a temperamental failure that John Adams had in his presidency stained him throughout the history of America. It wasn't until David McCullough biography 15 years ago that he kind of gotten some popularity back. But his attack on free speech while he was in office stained him for over 200 years. We must have the ability to let people say what they want to say. And we must have the patience and understanding to listen to it, to take it in, and they must in turn refer that respect back. As a people with a Judeo-Christian ethic, that mutual respect should be fundamental. And when we lose that fundamental respect to interact with each other, to engage each other on a mutual playing field, and let our ideas play out on the even field, the even battlefield of ideas, when we refuse to let that happen, we really are closing our minds, closing our ears, and closing our potential future to what could lie ahead. When you don't listen to someone you disagree with, and they don't listen to you, you miss the road that you can take of compromise. You miss the road where you can build a bridge on things that you disagree on, the things that you agree upon, bridging the gap on things that you disagree upon. And when we don't bridge that gap, we end up with one political side saying this about another political side, people throwing words and insults at each other through social media, and nobody actually ever listening to what the other person's saying. We're really at the pinnacle of, shut up culture, where I don't want to hear what you have to say, and I don't need to hear what you have to say. And that freedom of expression that we have, politically and individually in our own lives, when we fail to kind of adhere to that and respect that, we really limit ourselves as a culture and a people.